Hey, it's the bear from Grasshopper and the Bear. You like what you see? You like what you're listening to? Don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Grasshopper and the Bear.
Hey, what's up, Lisa?
Hello.
All right.
What's up, Battle Angel? Welcome to Grasshopper and the Bear podcast. I'm Javier.
Hi.
I'm Kendrick.
Hi.
How are you
Me
today?
too. How are you doing?
I've been better.
Okay.
Since your fight a few weeks ago in LFA for the bantamweight title, how you been? How's things post fight? I know you had a tough decision loss and a tough fight back. How are you doing?
My body's getting a little bit better. Still just kind of sore. Other than that, we went to a Lamb of God concert. That was the
Nice.
Who'd you go see?
Lamb of
Lamb of
God.
God.
Lamb of God. I'm not familiar. I'm assuming is that rock?
Yeah, it's metal.
Metal.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Was that must have been fun then?
Yeah, I want to go back.
Lisa, are you a musician?
No. I mean, I did
Okay.
band in middle school. I was a second
Okay.
trumpet.
Okay, I mean, what then you are once a musician, always a musician. You know, when you say I'm just saying.
We
You said you saying
we have a couple bases actually that we want to like learn how to play.
Nice.
So maybe
see,
That's what's
eventually.
up.
yeah.
Some future musicians in the family.
Yes. I can work on my power stance.
So you and your husband having some fun time post fight, post business, and all those things, all those things you had to do. That's good. That's good to hear. How is it working as a team with your spouse in the crazy world of fighting and mixed martial arts? How is that?
It's like a big question. I don't know. It's like so many things.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. But it's got to be an interesting experience going up the ranks in your career with the person you're like closest to, and seeing the highs and the lows together and going through it together and coming out on the other side. That's got to be quite an experience.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's definitely been like a learning curve since the beginning because, I mean, we're married, so yeah, so it's not like sometimes I'll just not listen to him, which isn't great on my end, but it's like something I have to work on.
Okay.
I don't think I'd like be where I am right now without him, because he's kind of that motivation. Like if I just don't want to go to the gym or I don't want to do anything, he'll kind of like make me. So he holds me accountable a lot. He'll be the first one to tell me if like during sparring, if it wasn't great or if it was great. He's definitely not a yes man, I'll tell you that.
Okay. Sure.
That sounds like a great coach and partner for you, because if he's going to be honest with you brutally, even when necessary, that's what you need, especially as a fighter. You need that honesty.
Yeah. And sometimes like I'll like not want to hear it, but later I'll be like, okay, just like tell me.
When you're ready to hear it, right?
Yeah, when I'm ready.
As long as the message gets across, yeah, that's all that matters. There's a lot of I notice a lot of couples and successful couples in mixed martial arts. One that stands out in my mind is Karate Hottie. Her husband's her one of her coaches.
I like Karate Hottie.
He works her corner, Michelle Watterson. Yeah, from Jackson Wink. Seems like they got a pretty good, relationship, marriage going. So yeah, I wish you guys all the best with intertwining those things together.
Thanks.
Watch your fight. Very gutsy performance. I understand on your part. You showed a lot of grit, a lot of heart. I noticed at the very end, you rolled in the very last seconds of the last round. I think you're rolling into some type of scramble / armbar. Looked dope. The woman you fought, I forget her name. Great fighter, great fight. She looked like more of a striker. I think you're coming off you hadn't fought for a while. Any thoughts in retrospect on what you could have done better, or if that's the best you could have done with what you had to work with, and what do you plan to do moving forward to make it to get a better outcome?
Honestly, like for me, I think it was probably like my worst fight.
Okay.
Yeah, on my end, because I know I could have done better, and I have. I think it was a lot of stuff like outside of fight camp that like I was super distracted, like I was like splitting my focus.
Okay.
We have like part-time jobs now, so that was kind of like hard balancing that. I was losing too much weight because it's a physical job already on top of like training for a fight. And like we'd get done working and then like barely have time to like eat a little bit of food and then do a workout and then like go to the gym after that and train jujitsu.
It's a grind.
So like
It's a grind.
I was just not getting like enough calories in my body like ever. I was like walking around 140, which for me is like really low because that's like only 5 pounds above my cut weight. So I was like kind of like sunken in and like small and just didn't feel, like myself, like I usually walk
Something
around
was
like
off. Yeah. How many days did you walk around at 140 if you're fighting at 135?
at least a month.
A month at 140?
Yeah.
And so I can't imagine being that so close to weight for so long. That had to take its toll psychologically and physically.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the first weight cut where I didn't have to do like usually we do like a bath with Epsom salt and like a bottle of peroxide in there, and I'll just lay there and sweat for half an hour and go to bed and wake up on weight. This is the first time like I didn't do that, and that already felt weird.
Yeah, that'll affect your performance for sure. So the combination of that, the weight, the weight you stayed at for so long, prolonged time, and then the outside things that might have that were distracting you, which plays a humongous role, especially in any sport, but especially combat sports where your health's on the line. You're being distracted. You're not thinking of the fight entirely before the fight starts, and during the fight, it's even more dangerous. And you won't be where you need to be mentally in the fight. Still fought good though. You fought good. You're so tough. You got that. You got that grit. You're nasty with it. I mean, you were just in that girl's face the whole time, and that was still cool to see. That was
once you're in there, it's like there's nothing. Doesn't really matter like what you did before and like all the distractions and that. If this is a thing I'm doing now, I can't get out of it. And I'm always that person, like I don't stop until the bell. So I guess I've always taken like a little bit of pride in that, but at the same time, like I want to like fight like I know I can. So yeah, this is like, at least with Julia, my last title fight, like I felt like I did good. Like I felt like I did everything I could. I mean, she just edged me out by cutting me, because in Kansas they like damage there. So it's like, well, I mean, if it was already such a close fight, like,
So your last, so I didn't see the fight before. I've only seen your most recent fight. So your last fight was against who? Julia who?
That was the last fight before the lockdown, actually.
Okay.
March last year. And then I fought Raquel Canuto. Used to be Paul Louis in September with like no crowd. That was different.
Yeah, that's like that's like a sparring match in the gym, right? Almost.
Yeah, I sort of like, it's hard to explain. Like it was different. Like I feel like I like with a crowd and without a crowd, but in different ways. Like I could hear everything Mark was saying. I could hear everything her coach is saying.
That's weird.
Like
when you can hear the other corner, that's always weird.
Yeah, like the third round, I could hear her say like, you have to take her down. I'm like, well, now I know what she's gonna.
I know. That's what I was gonna say. Then you know what they're doing, and you're like, you're thinking like how stupid their instructions are sometimes too. You're like, that's not what's going on here, and she's not gonna take me down.
Yeah. So it was definitely interesting. Yeah, and then going back into a fight with a crowd again is kind of like that switch.
Mm.
It's like
I
a
mean,
one.
it still felt normal because I only had one fight without a crowd and, all the rest with a crowd. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, it was just different.
Okay. Lisa, tell us about, from what I've researched, you've been athletic for many years. You played football 10 years, middle linebacker. You wrestled in high school. Tell us about the beginning of your martial arts journey. How old were you when you first started training, and what was the first martial art that you trained?
I actually did karate in middle school,
Okay.
which I was okay at, but with like point sparring for karate, you're not allowed to like hit to the face, and there's like certain
Mhm.
rules, and um yeah, I wasn't like the best point fighter.
Okay.
Like there's even there's one time I was like a yellow belt, and it was only me and this other girl in the division. She was a black belt, so we ended up fighting on the stage at the
Wow.
like and I was like
Yeah.
having like a panic attack. I was like, there's no way this is like happening right now. I have to like
That's
fight
not,
in front of a bunch of people against this black belt. Like I'm still like a baby. I'm a yellow belt.
Mhm.
damn.
But I ended up like that one's actually on YouTube somewhere.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Okay.
Oh, we gotta find that. That sounds like some good content.
I won't tell you where, you'll just have to go look.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Um, but I knocked her down several times. Like I didn't
Nice.
win,
Okay.
but
Oh yeah.
like my fighting style was more like actual like we're fighting each other instead of like just
Doing-
tapping like the top of my headgear or like part of my
Mhm.
body or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, not to say that point fighting isn't good for martial arts later. Like I know there's like Sage Northcutt. Um,
Steve Wonderboy Thompson has a point fighting type footwork.
yeah, him too. Um, so it's like definitely a good base for that, but I wasn't
Okay.
like a great point fighter anyway. So
You were like, rah.
right, like people would like side kick me in the stomach and I just like keep coming at them and they'd be like, that's weird. um so yeah, I did. And then there was like forms and you'd have to like walk up to the judges and like say, my name's Lisa, blah blah blah, and from blah blah blah, and like even just like doing that, like I didn't like doing like I don't like talking in front of people.
Okay.
And then like trying to remember your form in front of people and like I don't know, this wasn't really my thing. um I got into MMA after I might have gotten to like maybe green belt in karate or something
Okay.
like that.
Sure.
Um, then I eventually moved on, and then I started training like MMA when I was 14,
Okay.
in the mall actually.
Huh.
Really?
Yeah, like Ricky
Wow.
Simone used to train there, and I don't know, Jake Smith,
Hmm.
he trained there too.
Ricky
Okay.
Simone, he's got the mullet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He's good. Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know him super well, but like we trained together since I was like 14,
Okay.
It's kind of
Wow.
weird.
Hmm.
Um, I was actually like closer to some of his brothers who I like who wrestled, so I'd see them at like wrestling tournaments.
Sure.
But yeah, so I started doing that when I was 14. At the time it was Austin Springer's gym is called Gladiator
Oh,
MMA.
okay. Sure.
But yeah, that's when I met Rudy Garza and I started learning how to box. I actually like hated boxing at first because I thought I looked like super stupid or whatever.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
How so? Like just throwing punches, you felt like you looked awkward, or just having how was it? Like, how do you mean?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I was like 14 and thought I looked dumb, you know?
Okay. Oh, so you were young. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Lisa, how instrumental would you say that your wrestling was with you making that transition into the MMA? Because you started training MMA. You said 14 it was, and then you
Mhm.
had your
I
amateur fights
actually
18.
I didn't wrestle till my sophomore year in high school because my
Really?
mom wouldn't
Okay.
let me because she thought I'd get molested.
Oh wow.
Well,
But
in
she
this
let
day and
me
age,
do
that's actually a fair
jujitsu at the
statement,
gym, you
unfortunately.
know? Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, she like let me do jujitsu at the gym. Like that's
Mhm.
me different or
That's true
like
too.
worse
Yeah.
even. Like you
Point.
could be like in someone's legs, you
Yeah,
know?
Sure.
that's true.
But she often doesn't make sense. So anyways, like I
Hey, that's moms in general.
um
Sometimes,
Yeah. True.
right,
True.
Kendrick?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Absolutely.
yeah, like she wouldn't let me watch Harry Potter, but we played D&D and she was a wizard. So
Huh.
Kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Very
so there's
similar.
that. So yeah, I actually did gymnastics my freshman year because I actually grew up
Oh
doing
wow.
gymnastics
Okay. Huh.
when I was like 4 till I was 10.
Okay.
Wow.
Hmm.
Must have helped you a
So
lot.
yeah, from like the age
Life.
of 4, that's like all I know is like sports.
Okay.
So
Nice.
that's the only
Nice.
thing that makes sense to me.
So you went in with an athletic base. So I mean, I would imagine that would have made it easier for you as opposed to somebody coming in with no kind of athleticism and no kind of a background with sports. So that's pretty good. That's
mhm.
pretty cool. Lisa, I have to, right? I have to acknowledge this. You have a birthday coming up on October 17th. I got to tell you happy birthday early because we may not get to talk with you. So happy birthday to you.
Oh,
That'll
Thank
be your,
you.
you know,
happy
yeah,
early
you're welcome.
birthday.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, yeah, you're
Yeah.
welcome. Yeah.
Any plans?
Mhm.
Big birthday plans?
I don't know. Do we have birthday plans?
Train some
Oh,
more.
we're going on a road trip to go watch a bunch of hippie shows.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna go see Fish and Dead and Company. So I'm excited for
Nice.
that.
Sounds like
Um,
fun.
Is
yeah.
now you spoke earlier about you guys going to the concert and that I think it was trumpet you said you played in middle school. Is your husband a musician at all? Because you guys if you guys aren't musicians, you seem like you have a definite appreciation for music, which
Yeah.
is an art, just like martial arts, which is what you are, so is he a musician?
Actually, was it in high school that you're in a band? Yeah, in high school
Okay.
he's in a band and he was the bassist.
Oh wow. Okay.
He has like a little tattoo on his ankle that says Primal Bass, actually.
Oh wow.
He got in like the 90s.
Nice. Represent.
Good stuff.
I don't know if you
Okay.
hear him laughing, but and yeah, actually, we were like first like kind of getting close. We'd like just send
Mhm.
songs to each other.
Wow. Okay.
Nice. That's the
Um,
way.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
the
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Make
So
that
music
connection.
is kind of like a big part of like our life.
Okay.
Yeah, I
That's
was like
cool.
super sad when there's like no concerts. Like 2020, it was just like we had
Yeah, I
tickets
feel
for concerts. Like we have we have one for Deftones actually, but so it was like the end of 2020 and then they postponed it till September 2021
you.
and then just found out that now it's like April.
Oh
So we're like,
wow.
we just have these tickets that we might use eventually someday. So
Okay.
How did you get from going to the boxing gym at 14 and then later on, I'm imagining after that was at the same time or after that came Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and then your first amateur or pro mixed martial arts fight?
well,
How did that go, that path?
the gym was actually MMA. So
Okay.
like there's a cage in there. Um, so I was like learning a little bit of jujitsu too.
Okay.
But yeah, I would like it was in a mall and my dad would just drop me off. So sometimes like if I didn't feel like going to boxing, I just like go hang out in the food court and then go to jujitsu. And then at some
Wow.
point, like I became more of a striker than a grappler. Like it's kind of like fell in love with punching people at some point.
Mhm.
I don't really remember when that was, but I think I really decided that I wanted to fight like halfway through my senior year in high school.
Okay.
Where like every time they'd ask you like where you see yourself in 5 years or what do you want to do, and I just write MMA fighter on everything. And like all of my teachers are like, you should go to college. Um, I'm like, well, why don't I do this first? And if it doesn't work out, I could just go to college later anyways. Like
Okay.
I just don't feel like spending all of this money to go get a degree I don't even know that I want. Like I don't even know what I would go to college for. What? Maybe anatomy. Like
Okay.
it would definitely be like something science based, but
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, I don't want to spend all this money to like maybe get a job in the
Sure. When you already know what you
yeah.
want to do. Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
nowadays that's more of a regular, even normal train of thought for people graduating high school, and think not everyone's thinking of going straight to getting in debt and going to college just to get a
It's
degree.
so
That's
expensive
actually,
now.
but back in my day, or me and Kendrick and ours day, that was a normal thing. People thought you're crazy if you didn't go to college first and then do what you want to do after. But now it's kind of like the reverse almost. People are realizing that's not totally the best way. So
Right. Well, back then when it wasn't like, I mean, it was still an investment, but it wasn't as huge of one where like you're gonna be paying it off for 30 years. It'd be like easier to like go there, like mess up, find out what you want to do. But now it's like so much money to spend on, I don't even know.
you might just end up working a regular job down the street after you get your degree. You never
Right,
know.
exactly.
And then you'd be like, what the hell did I just what did I just spend up my last 4 years on? Yeah. My first, so when was your first fight? Like whether it was boxing or MMA?
I was 18. It was August 16th, 2014. Yeah, it was like literally the summer I graduated. I got my first fight. I was actually trying to get a kickboxing fight the day after graduation.
Wow.
Like I was
Hell yeah.
like I told my principal, I'm like, I might just have to like get my diploma and leave and go to weigh-ins. Like I don't know, like barely cared about the diploma. I was like, well, but it like fell through anyways, which was fine because I got to like experience, you know, like graduating, and I'm kind of glad that it happened like that. And then in August was my first fight. And I think that year I had like 3 fights, like from August to December.
Was that amateur or pro, Lisa?
Amateur. I did 10 AMI fights before I turned pro.
Oh, okay, that's good.
A record. She had a record of 9-1. Hobby. She was knocking. She's doing it 9-1, right, Lisa?
Yeah.
Very
serious
good.
business. Yeah,
that's
man.
A good flow going. Damn, that's good.
Yeah, serious
business.
Business.
But now like fighting that many times, like I was like 18, 19, and now like even thinking of that is like, wow, that's a lot.
Wow.
But when you're 18, you heal like in a day.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like
a lot quicker.
Almost 26, you know, you just don't heal as fast. I mean, I know like people in their 40s are like, what are you even talking about? You don't even know. Like I put like a lot more miles in my body than most people have, like since I was 4.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially doing gymnastics. That's not like easy on your joints or something.
Not at all. Yeah, absolutely. Jeez.
And I was on the competition team for a little bit before it was just like too political, I guess. Like there's some parents be like, don't talk to Lisa or don't talk to that girl, and like it was just the parents that were awful.
Yeah.
In gymnastics.
Yeah.
So I ended up just going to like normal gymnastics and had fun with that for a long time.
Yeah, it's
and
like
I used to be able to like do a
Wow.
backflip on a beam. And now that the thought of that was like before I had the fear of death, you know, I was like a little kid. And now like the thought of that, like, well, if I like miss and like break my ankle and like smash my head on something, it's like
Another, yeah, another dynamic of thought.
What's the training situation like in Portland? Like who's your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach? What's your MMA team? What's your setup there right now?
Oh, I actually don't train in Portland anymore. I train in Vancouver where I live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Vancouver.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah, so this is where I am. I train at the base Vancouver, which is like a sport jiu-jitsu gym. They're part of Checkmat.
Okay.
So and he lets us like do sparring on Sundays. So there's like a bunch of people like who wouldn't usually be sparring too. Who've kind of like gotten into it, like watching us sparring. So that's kind of cool. So it's kind of cool to like help people who like want to get better at it, but also like training with the people who are gonna hurt me too, you know.
Ask you about your time at Tiger Muay Thai in Thailand. What was that experience like? What are some of the cool things and some of the challenges? How was that?
Well, for one thing, it's really hot there.
Oh yeah, I bet.
And you have to buy bottled water like every day. Because you can't just like go fill up your water bottle somewhere. Because the water isn't safe to drink. You can like take a shower, you can shower in it, but you have to like close your mouth and not let it get in your mouth.
Wow.
That's
So
different.
like you'd see people like just walking down the street with like, you know, like jugs of water in their hands. You'll see little kids and like rubbers like running down the street training for a fight. They're like 10.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I don't know. Thailand's just it's like a different pace too. We went to Phuket, which is the island. So it's definitely like kind of an island timing there. Like nothing opens till 11 a.m. and like everyone's like partying till 2 a.m. You know, like from your hotel, you could like hear people partying like at the bar next door.
I don't like the sound of this island already though.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I can relax there somehow.
and the way Thailand is set up, like they'll have like these big freeways and then they'll have like little roads off of them, which are like tiny, and they call them sois, which are just little roads. And we were on like Soi Tated, which is where Tiger is. And that's like, here's a Muay Thai gym, here's another Muay Thai gym, here's a place to buy gear, another place to buy gear, smoothie shops, pharmacies, like CrossFit gyms. Like it's a huge place to do CrossFit too. Like people will travel there to do CrossFit. But yeah, I really like Tiger. I've been there twice now.
How long did you stay for each time?
A month.
Oh wow, nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Experience. And then
yeah, it's just different. Like I would do a few Muay Thai classes in a day. But there's like a lot of like conditioning and stuff. Like, I don't know, there's like 20 bags around the room and like, okay, punch this bag, go to this bag, punch it. And there's just like a line of people like, all right, next do this kick on the bag and go all the way around. When it's like 90 degrees outside. And it's all like open walls. Like it's just kind of like they remodeled it actually, but yeah, it's kind of like all open air. Yeah, I don't know. I want to go back. I really like Thailand.
Okay. How was it that you ended up going? Was there something that someone encouraged you to do to help your Muay Thai training, or what influenced you to go to Tiger for the first?
My husband actually.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, he's really into like showing me other perspectives and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, because Thai people, like, they just see it differently than other people,
Sure.
in terms of techniques and stuff like that. And then there's like kickboxing, and they have kind of like different views on certain things, like how to throw a kick or how to throw an elbow, whatever. There's like different theories, and it's cool to see all of them and like kind of adapt and kind of absorb whatever works for you. And the second time we went there, they had like a bigger MMA program. Like the first time I went there, it wasn't as big, like, but there are still people like rolling around. But now there's like a team there,
Okay.
and while we were training there, Valentina was like training for her fight too, but she's very like seclusive, like she's not very like approachable.
Okay.
We just like kind of like saw her a couple times, but
Celebrity, right?
yeah.
She's one of my favorite fighters. I love Valentina. She's awesome.
Yeah, I like watching her fight. I didn't get to see her last fight, so don't like tell me what happened, but
Would you
ooh, one more thing. The food is really good. Like
It is.
it's like they go to the market and get fresh stuff. Like they'll juice anything you want for you. Like if you order juice there, it's like actually like from a fruit that they just juiced and they gave it
That
to
sounds
you.
so good right now. Oh my God.
Yeah. Like I would have like watermelon juice every day.
Nice.
Or you like drink straight out of a coconut. All the food they cook, like there's no like preservatives in anything. If you go to the Minute Mart, like here we could get a gummy bears like in a bag like this big. You eat it all yourself because why not? They're like this big, and there's like 6 to 8 like each little packet. It's just like, well, it's a treat, like here's your little. It's just different. It's like it's not as like gluttonous as here. Like you just buy all of the treats and like just eat a huge bag of them. There, it's like even Oreos come in like this,
Damn.
little. Yeah, it's just a different perspective there. You can get ibuprofen for like $6. Yeah.
What was your favorite dish that they served at the Tiger Boy Thai, or what was the one that you liked the best, if there was one?
I actually didn't eat at Tiger a lot of the times. I did a few times. Their grill definitely the first time I went, it wasn't as good as it is now. Like they have a lot more to offer. I think there like the avocado toast was my favorite, but there's actually this restaurant we went to every morning, like they already knew our orders, like because we ordered the same thing every day.
I love that.
Yeah, I would get like this rice soup with squid in it, and then later in the day I'd get pad see like every day.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are our
What's
favorites.
pad see ew? What is that?
It's like pad thai, but the noodles are really fat and like kind of squishy.
Okay.
They're like wider noodles, and superior to pad thai in my opinion. But
do you have any plans to fight in the near future, or are you gonna look more towards that for next year, or what? Do you have any thoughts about that yet?
It's probably gonna be next year because I got like a 2-month suspension after this fight anyways. So
forced vacation or sort
right.
of.
Yeah.
Forced fiesta. Yeah.
Which is kind of okay. Like I have a lot of like weird family stuff happening right now anyways, so it's kind of like okay, like I'm like dealing with that right now.
Sure.
Okay, there's good timing for that then.
Yeah, so I'm like, that's fine. I'm okay. And like we're going on a road trip next month. I'm getting a surgery actually next month. That's the thing that's happening. I think that's actually next week. To fix my deviated septum because I could just not really breathe ever. So that's like another thing that I have to deal with is like thinking about breathing all the time. So yeah, and sometime next year, I don't know when, you know, it's kind of hard to, because it's not just like me like, hey, I want to fight now. It's like Invicta has to like put it together, like they have to find someone who wants to fight you too. It's like, you know, and that's mostly what Mark deals with.
Okay.
That's kind of like,
Of course.
you could ask him about those things.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
he's
no,
part of it.
understandable. Yeah, just curious, just excited to definitely be watching it whenever it is. I'll tune in again whenever it is, Lisa.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
What would your words of wisdom be for those people, for anybody?
Don't get into fighting to like get rich quick, because I've seen people try to do that. I'm like, there's no money until you like make it, you know, like it's not like a sustainable income until you're like, you know, making it big time or whatever. Yeah, I've seen people like get into it for money and then it doesn't really like work out very well. It's definitely like a sport of passion. Like you have to like do it because you want to, and then the money is just like a bonus on top of that.
Sure.
You know?
Okay.
At least in my eyes.
I agree.
Yeah. And also don't take like one amateur fight and then go pro after that because you won. Like amateurs are there for a reason, to like practice and kind of see a bunch of different looks. So when you do turn pro, you're not like surprised as much. Yeah, because I mean, I already got cut like as an amateur, like my eyebrow scar. So like getting cut wasn't like, oh, okay, whatever, when I turned pro. So yeah, like I would actually like take your time in amateur and turn pro like when you feel you need to, instead of having, I've had people tell me like, you should turn pro right now. I'm like, no. We planned from the start to do like 10 fights, 10 amateur fights and then turn pro. So I was like, that's what I was gonna do. Yeah. So
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. That was a good plan. Thank you for your words of wisdom. Lisa, where can people follow you on your socials, and anyone that wants to follow what you're doing in your journey and everything? What are your socials?
On Instagram, it's battle_angel_1232. On Facebook, it's just Lisa Spangler Verzosa. What else? My husband's Instagram, because sometimes he posts more fighty stuff than I do.
No, that's a good one.
Which is Fenrir Shade 13. You know, Fenrir like the wolf.
We wish you a restful recovery, a great rest of your year, and look forward to your fights in the future or anything that you do in your career. Good luck.
Thank you. And I'd also like to thank FCP.
Oh, right. Fight Club Philippines.
Yes. Hoping to go there when they open.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, super excited about that. I'm gonna be going there as well, teaching some classes. Super excited. Trying to get in good shape for that as we speak. All right, Lisa. Thanks to you, and thank you also to your husband, Mark. I appreciate him as well. So thank you.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks a lot.
All right, we'll see you. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.